What's up, guys? This is Nate24 the Great, back with a brand new video. In today's video, I will be talking about who were the 7 in Fortnite. This was Donald Mustard's vision of the 7, and this could change in the future as we do have a new creative director now, but here is the 7. So the 7 were a team of space knights, if you would call them, from across realities looking to free those who cannot fight for themselves. Unafraid of sacrifice, the 7 have become guardians of the 0 Point, its island, and the people of the Omniverse, each member impressive in their own right. So here are all of the members of the 7. So the first one that got revealed to us was the Visitor, and he is the 7's navigational expert. Then we got the Scientist, who is a good analyst, inventor, and tech specialist. The Paradigm, who was a pilot, and then the Foundation, who is a leader and very stubborn, by the way. The Origin, who was a field general, technician, and reality scholar. The Imagined, who was the Order's twin sister and wants to get back at her father, which he did some pretty bad things to them. And then the Order, who was a spy, the Imagined's twin sister, and wants to help others be free as well. So the 7's mission is to liberate both the 0 Point and the Loopers, a name given to Fortnite Battle Royale's players, and that's basically you and me who play the game. We are called Loopers, and to do so, they have battled the Imagined Order for centuries, considering their manipulation of the 0 Point for experiments as immoral. So basically, the Imagined Order, the IO, are the bad guys, and they manipulated the giant orb called the 0 Point into doing cruel and unusual experiments to the island's inhabitants. So their suits, the 7 suits, are prepared for anything with their armor. They're from interstellar travel to even handling the 0 Point's power. Each suit is tailored to their wearer's history for them to honor their past as they secure the future. Like all astronaut suits, each one cycles its own oxygen supply in a sealed environment, protecting the 7 from any outside hazards and the psychic signals of the loop. Most have a metal finish with accents of silver and leather, and a black visor with red lights. Their suits feature shields, energy blasts, Amy, which is like a built-in AI. Imagine like Tony Stark's AI. It's something like that. Flight, communication, cloaking, incineration, and stasis in the case of unconsciousness. However, these features have to be balanced with the suit's power sources so they can be used for longer periods of time. The 7's arsenal of signature tech goes beyond what they wear, from rockets to travel between realities to life support pods that become encased in meteors from the effects of traveling through space-time. They also adapt themselves to their surroundings, making jetpacks and other gear for whatever mission they need. So basically, they have a very vast array of different resources that they have available to them, and anything they don't have, if they need it for a mission, then they'll just make it. So the history of the 7. During Chapter 1, the 7 were mostly in the shadows, not revealing themselves too much. However, the Visitor checked in on the island in Season 4, and the Paradigm surfaced in Season 9 as a traitor, pilot to the IO's mecha team leader, with her own agenda of saving the island, and the Scientist had his first time in the loop in Season X, concluding the chapter by gathering most of the 7 to save the 0 Point from exploding. So basically, in Chapter 1, we got revealed 3 of the 7 characters of the 7, and the Visitor, he was just checking on the island, and then he dipped out. And the Paradigm, she actually came to work with the IO because they needed someone to pilot the mech, and the rest of the 7 did not like that, so she was labeled as a traitor for a while. And then the Scientist, he came in Season X, and he's the one that got everyone together to, blow up the or to stop the zero point from blowing up, I should say. And then most as the Paradigm went missing. After defeating the Devourer and traveling to the island's ice moon to check for more threats like him in Chapter 1, Season 9, she didn't expect the moon's terrible storms meant to keep its dangers from escaping and crashed on its surface, with the mech that she helped the IO build staying in stasis for 2 years. She was assumed dead and a traitor. For the Seven's plan of saving the zero point, the scientist had to use a remotely controlled rocket in her place during Chapter 1, Season X. So basically what happened is after the Devourer event, the mech that the Paradigm was in the mech, and she went up to the the ice moon, because that is where the Devourer came from, and she wanted to make sure that no other creatures like the Devourer came to the island. So she went up there to check and see if there was any more threats, and the storms on the ice moon are very, very strong, and she was not expecting such strong of storms, so her mech crashed, and then she stayed there alive, but she couldn't do anything. You know, her suit was keeping her alive, but she was unconscious, you could say. In the Seven, they didn't really go looking for her because they assumed she was dead, and after all, they still saw her as a traitor, so they did not go looking for her at the time. And then during the Season X event, there were actually 7 rockets, because the Paradigm was intended to, help pilot, but the scientist actually had to use a remote controlled rocket in her place since she wasn't there. So, after the island reformed for Chapter 2, the Seven stepped into the light to transform its flip side into a sanctuary for those they've helped escape the loop. It was hidden from the other side of the island until it was revealed in Chapter 3. So that is basically, the bottom of the map when it got flipped and things like that. So John Jones, also known as Jonesy, became an honorary member after stealing all files about the Seven from the IO and betraying his oath to the IO, calling upon the Foundation for help in the Zero Crisis event during Chapter 2, Season 6. So Jonesy joins the Seven in Chapter 2, Season 6, because he basically went against the IO and stole all their files about the Seven. So the Seven's conflict with the IO reached its height during the Zero War in Chapter 3, Season 2. So the IO sought a new beginning, and to do so, they engineered a doomsday weapon that would wipe out anything surrounding the zero point by using its power, the Collider. With the Seven severely outmatched by the enemy's army, they recruited a resistance of loopers to help save the island, including John Jones, which was led by the Origin. As the final blow against the IO, the Seven had to recover the Mecha Team Leader, now Mecha Strike Commander, in the classic 7 blue, and to save Paradigm from her stasis, also casting her betrayal aside with support from the Imagined and the Scientist. She was the only one capable of piloting the mech to destroy the Collider and put an end to the Zero War, freezing the zero point for good and erecting the IO's control of the island. So basically what happened is that, the IO wanted to take over the island and basically just start all over again. So they created the Collider, the big doomsday device, and then the Seven had to stop it. So the Seven, I should say, created a resistance made up of loopers and John Jones, and then they needed to retrieve the mech in order to, bring that final blow to the IO and finally overpower them. So when they went up to the ice moon to get it, they found the Paradigm was still alive, and then they repaired the mech, and the Paradigm agreed to pilot the mech because she was the only one that actually could pilot it and, save the island. So most of the 7 right now are currently missing after the events of Chapter 3, Season 4, which was the Chrome event. The Imagined was disintegrated by the 0 Point during the events of Fortnite Marvel Zero War comic. So yeah, basically 6 of the 7 are currently missing. Well, most of them are currently missing, and the Imagined is considered dead because she got disintegrated by the 0 Point. So it's really odd because we don't know if we're gonna see the 7 again or the IO, honestly. But yeah, we'll see what's to come in the future with the new creative director, and if he decides to bring back some of those old fractions. He did bring back Midas, so you never know. I guess only time will tell. So yeah, thank you guys for watching today's video. That was my summary of the 7, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.